Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Got Next Gaming and some Madden 17 coverage as we are back with our New York Giants competitive rebuild. Here we are with this finally, folks. I want to apologize for having such a gap in between these last episodes. In all honesty, I completely thought I lost the footage for this. I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked all over for it, so I kind of let it go, and I wasn't going to do anything else with it. And obviously, I found some footage, so we're going to go ahead and jump in here, and we're going to see how the Giants can do now after their rookie sensation came out and did some big things and got us within one game of the Super Bowl. But first, it's free agency here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look here. We're going to go and make an offer and actually sign Tamba Hali here for a right outside linebacker, which is going to be huge for us. And there is our rookie quarterback, Crocker. He had a great year for us, and we are looking to build on that year if we can, as we do have some pieces that are working out for us, and the team is starting to come together very nicely. You can see our linebacking core starting to solidify a little bit and looking much stronger, as the defense was a surprise for us as they played well, but we definitely wanted to shore up some pieces that were needed there. And I think Hali can kind of fit in and help us out. He is on the older side, and he will be a stopgap kind of linebacker for 1 year here. As like I said, we are in a competitive rebuild, so we're trying to want to win it, and maybe we can win it, but we are still trying to compete and rebuild at the same time as we're waiting for other players to step up. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the draft here now, and I'm going to do a couple of the picks, and then I'm going to move the picks off and let it pick the rest for me to see what we get. I'll probably do the first couple of rounds, though, and see what it's going to be. And we're going to go ahead here and jump in and take a look around to see what kind of move we want to make first here with our first pick at number 29 in the first round. So we're not going to get the greatest here, but we're going to try to keep it to something that's going to be of value for us, and hopefully we don't screw this up. So do we go wide receiver that we're not going to be able to really start, or do we try to build on the offensive line a little bit? Do we go for a running back or a cornerback or a linebacker that could possibly we can build around as well going forward? Like I said, competitive rebuild. We'll get a depth linebacker for now, somebody who's a rookie who can learn behind the starters, because Hali might not play maybe a year, and we probably won't re-sign him because he is, like I said, on the older side. But maybe that is the way to go. Like I said, competitive rebuild. So let's stick with that theme, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to draft Russell Wooten here. And we can see he's a good pick. He was ranked number 20, and we drafted him at 29. And he's got some great attributes there out of Penn State. He's a 3-4 pass rusher. Should be pretty good, as he's a 77 overall to start things off. Not a bad value pick there at number 29. I will take a pick like that all the time if I can get them in that regard. So we take a look at some of his attributes: 80 speed, 87 tackle, hit powers in 88, good pursuit numbers, and play recognitions at 74. We can definitely build that on that, and that's what I was saying. It's going to be the rebuilding part there as he comes up and gets used to playing in the NFL. We have some pieces in front of him that can definitely play it out. So we're going to go into pick number 2 now, and it's going to be the 24th pick here in the second round, and we're going to take a look and see who we're going to pick up here. I got to tell you the truth here, folks. I did struggle with this. I looked at this guy, Tyrus Eason. He's a wide receiver who can use a little bit of help with Victor Cruz getting older. His combine report was a 7.1. My scouting obviously was not that great, because even second round picks here, I didn't have anything on them. I had nothing unlocked, and it was really a struggle looking around to try to figure out who was I going to go with here. Wide receiver, was I going to get a cornerback to kind of build up because Rogers Cromartie's getting older? And it's like, what do you do here? So we do go ahead and draft Tyrus Eason here, and it's kind of a reach as they have him ranked at 190, and we picked him at 56 overall, so not a great pick there, as his overall is a 66. Decent speed and some decent acceleration numbers, maybe something we can work with. Hopefully he develops into somewhat of a good player. With our third pick, we're going to try to see if there's anything that we could trade away for that's going to be enticing for us, but I did not like anything that I saw, so I went ahead and did get myself a cornerback, again, to try to rebuild some of what the older players might be moving on. And again, I reached once again here, as he was a 345, and I picked him at number 88. So I'm doing terrible here as far as draft goes. So I let it draft the rest of the way on Sim, and I did not go back in there and do any of it on my own. And actually, the AI did a much better job than I did, as they picked up a tight end in the fourth round. In the third round, it was a 72 overall. And they got a fullback in the 6th round, which was a 75. I never would have drafted a fullback. But at least the cornerback that they picked up in the 7th round is a 68 overall, and much better than the guy that I picked up in the 3rd, who was a 64. So not a great draft for us at all by any stretch of the imagination, as I kind of, the first pick was the best one for me, really, and after that, it was nothing going on. This guy here, Sauerbrunn, he could probably turn into something decent behind O'Donnell that we have already there, as he's a 72 and kind of matches up with O'Donnell, who's a 72 currently too. So, and then here's Andre Price. He's a 68 and maybe a cornerback that we can build on moving forward for this team and everything else. So we're gonna do and make some moves here. We're gonna take Wooten here. We're gonna move him over to the left side because we're kind of stacked at right linebacker right now. We can use a little help on the other side there. We're going to go ahead and change his position to left outside linebacker. His stats stay the same. It doesn't change anything for him as he remains the same. And we're just going to put him on the left side instead because, like I said, stacked it right outside linebacker. We need a little help there. Maybe he'll get some play time behind Kennard there. If anything, if Kennard goes down or gets hurt or gets fatigued or whatever, stamina, we'll probably get something out of that. So we'll take a look at the lineups again here one more time. After the draft, there's still some work to do here. We do have that quarterback. We're hoping that we can build on him as he was a solid piece for us last year and was Rookie of the Year. He made Rookie of the Year, so that's something you definitely want to work with. We're going to work on the offensive line as well and make some changes there too. And we're going to take a look at our defense again to see how they stack up as it looks now. So looking pretty decent as it turns. I think I'm kind of impressed with the defense. I think it's something we can really work with here. They are some good pieces here, and it looks like it might be something that's solid. So it's going to be on the offense here to kind of get things rolling for this team and make it happen. And hopefully that's exactly what's going to go on here. So we're going to head and advance a little bit here in the offseason and get ourselves ready to go for preseason and then the regular season as well. But now it is time for us to set our season goal and kind of make a promise there to ownership to see what we're going to do, as we are the coach, and we're going to put ourselves on the line here a little bit and say this is what we're going to do. So it's a big decision for us, that season goal. Our objective is going to be a very high objective. Not going to say make it to the Super Bowl. I think that would be kind of steep. Our chance of firing is very high at that. We're going to probably go with maybe make the playoffs or reach the divisional round or something to that regard. Still very high chance of being fired, but we're going to stick with reach the divisional round, as I don't want to push it too much, and I didn't really improve the team all that much, but we do have some improvements there. As we take a look around, we can see there is an injury out there, as it looks like Odell Beckham has an injury, and that's going to kind of hurt us to start things off for the season. We'll have to take a look at that. We're going to do some work here on the offensive line as well, and try to shore that up a little bit there on the right guard, as our starter was a 68, and that does not work for us at all. Here's Odell Beckham with a broken toe. 4 weeks he's out, and that's going to be hurtful for us there. But we're going to go ahead and jump into this in advance. We're going to go to the midseason point to make any adjustments, if at all possible, for us here. If we can do so, let's see what we get. We're going to sim ahead. And what's it going to be for the Giants? How's this going to turn out? And we are 1-6. That is absolutely terrible. I did not expect that at all. And we're going to be going up against a 5-2 Lions team, which looks like they're pretty solid as things turn out right now. Can't tell you what happened here, but it looks like Shane Crock is returning from injury. So is Dwayne Harris. So our starting quarterback, that rookie who's in his sophomore year now, it gets the sophomore jinx. It looks like he was hurt, but now he's coming back in, and he's an 84 overall. So his attributes are still up, but what happened to him? I don't even know how many games he played. We're going to have to take a look in there and dive in and try to figure this out. What went on with this team? If he was hurt, that's probably a big deal right there. That's gonna be why we were hurt so much. And there's Odell Beckham. Looks like he's back. And we're going to definitely have to make some depth chart adjustments here for sure. So it looks like we have some more injuries. Jenkins is out for 2. Eric Flowers, a starting left tackle, is out for 5 weeks. These are not good injuries, people. We're going to go out and try to sign somebody to shore up the offensive line a little bit, where I think that's going to be our biggest need here moving forward. It's going to be tough coming back from a 1-6 start to try to get us into the playoffs at all, if at all possible. We're going to go ahead and sign John Miller here and then make some changes to the offensive line again to plug him in there, and he's starting right away. So we're going to have to go and cut a player. And let's see who's on the chopping block here. It's going to be Carlo Russian, 66 overall. Yeah, we replaced you with a 72, and that's a huge upgrade over what you are and what we have. And it's just going to be one of those things. And you know what? It's part of playing football. It's going to happen. So here's Danny Trevathan. We're going to go ahead and make him an offer to try to keep him, as he has been our best defensive player by far. We're going to make him a nice big offer, and hopefully he'll stay. Yep, this offer is perfect, and I can't wait till next year. Good, we kind of tie him up. As we take a look at the standings as well, we can see we're way behind there with the Cowboys having a 6-1. So we'll take a look at some stats here, and it looks like Shane Crocker got hurt in the very first game, as he had 2 completions for 4 attempts. Yeah, quite obvious there, folks, what happened, as we can see that Odell Beckham has been ineffective as well, as he was out for the first 4 games, played only 3, I guess, or maybe 2, and it has been completely ineffective for this offense. So that's going to be a tough move going forward. We're going to go ahead and sim here and see what happens. Like I said, we promised we were going to make the playoffs, but at 1-6, it's going to be a really tough chore to try to make that happen. The task is insurmountable, if you ask me, and we're going to see what happens with this Giants team now that they have all their pieces back, offensively at least, to see what goes on. And yep, we are fired. You saw it here. We got fired. Russell Wilson's the 2019 MVP. Guess we did not make the playoffs. That's pretty obvious right there. As we take a look at our standings here, and our record was 5-11, and this team had no chance. They stood no chance with the rookie being out, and he obviously did not play very well down the stretch, as he went only 4-5 to finish things off. So we kind of deserve being fired, I guess, in that way, but not really, because we lost, our best wide receiver. We lost our quarterback. You can see his stats there on the season, only 1,800 yards, and Mallet was in there for 1,500. We'll take a look at all the stats all the way across. He was 10-11 in the touchdown to interception, despite being in 10 games total. Nothing much doing there. We'll take a look at the halfbacks. Sanchez Davis, pretty decent halfback for us. Picked up 911 yards on 223 carries. Looked pretty good there. Had 9 touchdowns. So the running game was, I would say, pretty strong for the most part. But we take a look at our receiving core, and we can see Shepard led things with Cruz, and Odell just never really got things going in this season here at all. And it was non-factored at all for this team. And it's just, that kind of hurt us there. So like I said, do we really deserve to be fired? Who really knows in this regard? But so Trevathan, again, the best defensive player, 129 tackles there. We can see Jason Pierre-Paul had 8 sacks, and we look around, Collins and Guy and Halley actually factored in there for a little bit as well, 82 tackles, so he did a pretty decent job for us, at least what we expected, and Damian Harrison there with 81 tackles. But so we were fired, and we're going to have to move on to free agency and see what happens next. We actually do get a couple of offers, and I will tell you this, folks, I do wind up taking an offer here and picking up a deal with the San Francisco 49ers. They had the biggest cap available, and that's kind of where I went with. I ran with that one there, and they offered me a decent salary, not as much as the Buccaneers, but I thought that with the $76 million cap room, we could really make some good stuff happen here. But if you want to see that continue, let me know in the comments below. But it looks like our competitive rebuild of the Giants is over. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you around the channel, and goodbye now.